everyone, this is Nikki Rowland and today I have a layout for Simple Stories. I'm using the most amazing Simple Vintage Coastal collection. This is one of my favourite collections I've seen so far. It's so beautiful. It was released last year and it was so popular that it's actually been re-released this year, which is a real credit to the collection. I didn't get any last year because I typically don't have many coastal or beachy photos, but I was admiring it from afar, and then I was delighted to be able to work with it this year. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do. I've got some beachy photos, but this is a UK beach, so the tropical palm trees and the beautiful tropical flowers don't really fit in overly well. So instead of those things, I'm focusing on the other things. So the more purely sea-related items or beach-related items rather than the tropical elements. So I really was drawn to the paper with all the 2x2 squares on, and I've pulled out or cut out a few squares that have got some different sayings on. So I've got two pinky ones. One says need more vitamin C. One says coast to coast, and then I've got a deck chair with some shells and another one on the left with a boat, so I'm just cutting those out, just dressing the edges. I've got my two photos in the middle. You can see there that I kind of stuck my background down off camera. That's just because I was away when I was creating this layout and kept getting interrupted. So this video might be slightly disjointed, but I did eventually get there. The background itself was a piece of the woodgrain paper. I'm just in love with that. It's kind of like driftwood, really, really beachy. And the background is a piece of paper from the 12x12 Basics kit that goes or coordinates with the Simple Vintage Coastal. That works really, really well. The pink in the background, or pinky corally colour in the background, plus the wood grain is just absolutely stunning combination. And it also makes me happy because it means I'm not using white card. I often use white card. I do love a bit of white card, but I always feel really proud of myself when I use a whole sheet of pattern paper in the background. So yay, I've ticked that box. I was at a retreat when I made this layout, or some of it. So I asked a friend just shouted out, does anyone have any natural kind of twine? Then suddenly on my desk landed this this little reel of perfect natural twine from a friend. So thank you for that. So I took that piece of natural twine and I tied it in some knots. And this always reminds me of like rope that you see along the seafronts, like, I don't know, like the ropes that separate the path from the beach, that kind of thing. It just very beachy and sea themed to me. So I tied that twine in lots of little knots, and then that was a perfect extra additional embellishment to this layout. So I'm just trying to arrange those elements onto the layout. I've got those 4 squares, my 2 photos, and I'm planning to stick those in place. I've got that piece of ephemera from behind my left photo, and then I'm going to add some other bits and pieces to the layout, and I'm kind of thinking that I'm going to have all these lovely elements higgledy-piggledy along the bottom edge. So I've got the seagulls. I just love them. They're super cute, aren't they? Seagulls and some shells, an anchor, some starfish. I've got a mixture of things. So I've got some pieces are like flat ephemera, some are foam, and from the kind of phrase and icon foam stickers. I'm just carrying on, adding some bits and pieces. I've got some chipboard bits in there as well, I'm going to add some more pieces down the bottom here as well as my my lovely natural twine. At the top there, I'm now just creating a little cluster. I was thinking a very small cluster at the top, but it kind of extended itself down towards the photos as well, which worked quite well. I've got a big frond branch with starfish on, that says Hey Sunshine. I've got some seaweed, and I've got an oar that says See More. Then I've also picked out a little square that's from the ephemera that says Sunny days are happy days, and I really liked that. So, and finally, in the UK here, we have some nice weather. We've had the most awful March, April, and May. So I'm very happy that in June we've had some sunny days. Oh, there's basically right at the end of May we had some sunny days. So that was really, really wonderful. So we managed to go out and get some sunshine. So that was nice. So yeah, we're all feeling a bit happier now in the UK. Okay, so adding in that little sign there, sunny days are happy days, and I am just raising that up on foam pads. So here I come with my natural twine. So I wanted to have a piece at the top there. Like I said, I've tied it in knots, and I tied a length and then just cut it down. And then I'm just kind of going to wrap that around. In fact, I ended up wrapping it around the oar itself. I was going to tie it in a knot itself, but actually I quite like the way it kind of wrapped around the handle of the oar. So that's really nice. I'm really happy with how that looks actually at the top there. Sorry about the glare on my lights. I don't have my usual setup because I'm away in a hotel while I'm filming this. But we'll switch in a minute to being back home, and I finish off the layout in proper lighting conditions. But it meant that I was able to make some layouts while I was away rather than not. And I kind of figured it was better to video what I was doing, even if the lighting wasn't perfect, so that I still had a video for this layout. So yeah, this is one, and maybe a couple others that were filmed there. Yeah, okay. So here we go. Nice lighting. Back in my craft room with my perfect lighting conditions. Okay. So I'm now just going to add in some final details. So I loved this word Beachy. I should have said at the beginning actually that my photos are a really warm color scheme. They are just the color of the sea isn't very blue. The color of the sand is very yellow. So my photos basically have a very warm tone to them. So when I was looking at what papers to choose for this layout, I tried to stay away from the beautiful azure blues and stick with mostly the warmer tones such as the pinks and the wood grain. So that's the kind of colour theme that I was going for, and that's the reason why. So I really loved that title, Beachy, and I was really happy to see that the alphabet stickers inside the sticker book were pink as well, so they went nicely with my colour scheme. I would have been in trouble if they had been a different colour. So I could manage to make the title just Beachy, and I'm going to draw around those letters with a black pen so that they stand out a little bit more against that wood grain background. That's the downside of using a pattern paper for your background, is that things don't always show up as well. But there's always ways round. So yeah, I'm getting better at using pattern paper backgrounds as well. Okay, so what else am I adding? I'm going to add another shell. There we go. That's from the foam stickers and some bits from the chipboard as well. So I'm going to add just some hearts, I think, in chipboard down the bottom. So I was always planning to add like several elements across the bottom of the layout, and then I wanted to then fill the gaps in with the smaller pieces. So then I looked to the small chipboard hearts, and I looked to the brads, and then I managed to fill in all the gaps. I've just used one of the really lovely layered stickers. I've just added that at the bottom. This kind of overlaps my photo. I love the signpost. I really love signposts anyway. They're just gorgeous, aren't they? So photogenic. I've just put the signpost there, and then I'm just carrying on filling in around all of the gaps. So just adding in some brads and getting those stuck in place. So I've got some, I've chosen to use some bigger ones. So right on the left there, I needed another pop of pink over on the left-hand side. It was a little bit plain. So I've just added the big brad that says just Beachy, which is the same as my title. Then next to one of the shells, I've got a little wood grain one that's got the writing in pink that says relax. and then another one over on the right-hand side that says enjoy. So, and then a compass underneath the seagulls near to the signpost. So quite a few of those I popped in there. I haven't put any at the top actually. Normally I would repeat those elements towards the top of the layout as well, but that must have escaped my my thought process for some reason this time. But I've now trying to stick my rope, my natural twine in place. I have another piece of that natural twine which I have cut to length and then tied in little knots all the way down, all the way through it, sorry. So yeah, I'm just going to get that stuck in place. A bit tricky to stick because of the little knots, so I'm using glossy accents and hoping that it will hold it in place. I might have to put something heavy on top of it at some point, but at the moment it seems to be holding actually, so I'm just going to carry on and hope it doesn't move too much. Yeah, I'm now thinking about my journaling, so I'm just adding at the top there a few lines of journaling, not very much, and I'm pretty sure I spelt the location wrong as well, which is very frustrating. So I must go and look it up and then make that mistake better if it is wrong. But not before I photographed it. I've photographed it with spelling mistakes and everything. So we just don't tell anyone, okay? Okay, so just drew around my title, the word just, so that it's outlined in black pen, just makes it stand out a little bit better. And now I'm just going to add some white paint splatters all over the layout, around the top mainly, a little bit along the bottom, but mostly around the top section on that, on that area of white space that's not white, or open space where there's a lot going on to the left of that cluster at the top there. I wanted some extra splatters up there. So now I think I have a finished layout. So I really, really absolutely adored working with this collection. I can't wait to get some more photos of the beach and to make more layouts using this absolutely beautiful and stunning collection. Here are some close-ups for you to take a look at. You can really see all the details and all the pretty things that went onto this layout. Okay, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that layout. That was Nikki Rowland for Simple Stories.